Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my channel where I do watercolor sketches and journal, and I hope you can join me this morning. So once again, I'm following the Doodlewash January prompts, and today we're going to be painting violets. So once again, I'm going to be painting in my Hobonichi Cousin, and I started with a wet spray on my page instead of just wetting the entire page with my brush, and using undersea green and also sap green. And as you can see on Tomoe River Paper, at least the new one, I suppose, even when it's wet, it doesn't, the watercolors do not spread too much. So I'm just adding greens and purples, and this will be fairly abstract, I suppose. And so I'm using ultramarine violet and also ultramarine blue to make abstract petals. And I'm leaving the center somewhat empty so that I can go back a little later and add a bit of yellow to the centers. And when the petals dry a little bit, I will go around and add some shadows and whatnot. And violets are fairly easy to paint abstractly, just because they have such unique sort of zigzaggy edge, and you just wiggle your brush around. So I'm making some leaf shapes and using sap green. It's always kind of fun to see how the painting come together, I suppose. And since the petals are somewhat dry, I'm just adding a little more to the edges. And then when the paper gets too wet, of course, you could use tissue or toilet paper or whatever to mop up the extra moisture. And here I'm using Hansa Yellow medium and light to add the center. And I was debating whether to add any details or not. And so I just darkened the edges a little bit. And I'm using undersea green here to just go around the petals in certain places to give it a shadow. And that kind of makes the flowers pop a little bit more. All right, so the painting is done, and I did use put a quote in And I'm using 2 pens. This is a Pilot Pocket brush, and it gives really thick lines and thin lines, which I love. And then this is the Tombow Fudenosuke. And a lot of people prefer the hard tip, but I actually like the soft tip. I just can get varied lines much better. And so here's the quote. Forgiveness is the fragrance that the violets shed to those who crush it. I thought that was a really nice quote. And so I am writing today about the idea of forgiveness. And just the idea that forgiveness is not forgetting the act, but it's the process, both for you and for the people either who you wronged or people who did something to you. It's just the process of healing. And so that's what I wrote about today. So I'll be quiet and let you journal too. So here is my completed page for today. And it didn't seem like I was going to be so heavy, but it turned out a little bit. But anyway, so I did use a white gel pen to highlight or give it shadow so it shows up a little bit more. But yeah, so thank you so much for watching, and hopefully we'll see you next week.